I don't like to use the word icon too often, but with 18 Grammy Awards, 44 nominations, 112 singles making the Billboard charts, and over 75 million records sold, icon isn't even enough to describe Aretha Franklin. And this Friday at the Berklee Performance Center, her work is being celebrated in a tribute to Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul.
Ain't nothing like the real.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Whoa.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
That was Damien Sneed, bandleader, vocalist, and composer who toured with Franklin in the later years of her career. He'll be joined in Friday's tribute show by Valerie Simpson, the legendary songwriter and producer who, along with her late husband, Nicholas Ashford, wrote that song you just heard, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, plus hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, I'm Every Woman, You're All I Need to Get By, and I Don't Need No Doctor, which was first recorded by Ray Charles, has been covered dozens of times since, and which Simpson performed a few years back at Berklee's commencement.
I need his tenderness. Put me on the critical list. All I needed was his sweet kiss. Gave me a medicated lotion. Didn't soothe.
Valerie Simpson and Damien Sneed join me now. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Valerie, I want you to know I came to work in a horrible mood this morning, and I sat at my desk and watched you sing at the piano, I'm Every Woman. My whole day changed, so I want to thank you in
I'm
advance.
so glad.
So you
See what music can do?
No, see what you can do, I think, is the appropriate thing. So you both knew her, starting with you, Valerie Simpson. What effect did she have on you, professionally, personally, both?
I think probably because she was such a great pianist and I love the piano and a wonderful vocalist. That was the first thing that touched my heart. You know, we shared that in common. And then she happened to like Ashford and Simpson songs and recorded a lot of them.
Well, if that's the case, I have something in common with Aretha Franklin. You know, Damien, I can't even imagine. I tried to conceptualize what you did for those years playing for her. What was that like? What impact did that have on you?
I had a great impact, but I was nervous the entire time because Aretha Franklin missed nothing. She heard every chord, every note, every rest. Even when I played organ, she could tell when I was switching the Leslie from tremolo to off. I mean, she was just absolutely amazing, brilliant.
You know, Damien, staying with you for a second, when I was thinking about the two of you coming on tonight, and I'm saying you were in the presence of regularly every day for this period of time with Aretha Franklin, I was trying to think if I ever been alone with somebody who was the best at what they did, if anyone ever lived. And I realized about 15 years ago, I had an hour-long interview with Bill Russell. And my radio co-host and I are in the same room with Russell. And I tried stepping back repeatedly, not literally throughout the interview, grappling with the reality of being with a person who did something better than anyone ever had. Did you have those moments when you were touring with her, Damien?
Most definitely. Like I said, every moment, watching her sing, watching her do Bridge Over Troubled Water, where she would come to the piano and I would play with her on organ. I mean, every night, each show was different. She came with new energy, new fire. And I've always felt that from Aretha Franklin, as I also feel every night with Valerie Simpson on stage. I feel the exact same way about her.
I love that. I can totally believe it. So, Valerie, you know, following up on what Damien said, there are a lot of great singers. Many feel there's Aretha and everybody else. What put her on a pedestal apart from everybody else who has done what she did?
I think I'd have to say the diversity. She did everything top shelf. She just couldn't help herself. I mean, if it was a blues song, if it was a pop song, if it was a gospel song, she gave you the top echelon of that thing. And most people can, you know, they have an area, but she covered the whole arena. And I love that about her.
Valerie, do you have a moment from your relationship that stays with you about Aretha Franklin?
Well, years ago, before I knew her well, she had done one of our songs. I invited her to my home, and she brought all her children, and she brought her brother, and She didn't talk, but she ate everything. And we had a wonderful time. I was just thrilled. I didn't think she was going to come, but she did, you know, and so that's how our relationship began.
Can't imagine having Aretha Franklin over to my house.
For dinner.
For dinner. So, Damien, while you were not quaking at the organ every single minute, what's the one encounter, the one moment with Aretha Franklin that stays with you?
I think there was a party after our performance at the Santa Barbara Bowl where the band and singers were there, and she invited me to come sit at the table with her and two of her friends. And that moment was very special. I'll never forget that evening.
You know, Valerie, you and your husband, for very young people here, were huge. I mean, just huge, just brilliant and huge in every kind of way. Having said that, when you I read that in one of the earlier performances on this tour, you closed the show, I hope I'm not giving anything away, by singing the song that Rolling Stone said was the greatest song in the history of songs, Respect. How is covering a song like that, what's that like? What's that like?
Well, you know, I have to set it up. I set the song up because she was looking into the future when she realized what women needed that they didn't have. And we didn't know we didn't have it. And she gave us a platform to stand and demand it because Otis Redding had made it a hit before her. He wrote it.
Of course.
But she put the thing on it that allowed us to go forward. And so I sing it proudly. And now it's a song just for everybody because we all need that.
You don't seem like the type who ever gets intimidated by anything. Is that intimidating or it's not?
No, it's comforting.
So, Damien, tell us about the show. We know that you two are a part of it. Tell us about what the rest of people will get Friday night.
There's a phenomenally talented, virtuosic group of singers and musicians who help us cover every possible style and genre of American music that Aretha Franklin found herself expressing, from classical to gospel to blues to jazz to R&B. It's all there, and it's a great team. It's a great group of people. I think there's music in the repertoire that everyone will enjoy.
And I assume some things, as hard as it is to believe, that some people may not be that familiar with part of her catalog, no?
Yeah, because her catalog is so massive. It's so vast. I'm still learning things more and more every day.
Well, I'm hoping to be there. Damien, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Valerie Simpson, I have been a fan forever. And it's a thrill to meet you. Thank you both. Good luck on Friday. And I hope everybody shows up for a terrific evening. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Be well.